This is a story about an animal that takes place in a place where birds don't lay eggs. In fact, I hate to talk about animals, but my high school teacher always liked to talk about monkeys. He said there are two monkeys in picking peaches. In order not to be eaten by the tiger, decided to cooperate, one first up the tree to eat peaches, the other responsible for sentry. Eat peaches to leave half to the sentry, and the sentry cannot leave the post, which requires two monkeys can not only think about themselves. So the two monkeys became a group of monkeys, and the group of monkeys became a crowd. Our story starts with this bird. This bird is called a falcon, a rare animal under national protection in China. There is a northwest poaching gang specializing in poaching this bird for profit. One day, one of the gang members, Rhubarb, was accidentally caught by the police after capturing several falcons, and the gang leader drove his SUV and crashed the police car, killing the policeman in the car. The two were then arrested, and the gang's boss hired a lawyer, Lao Pan, to come to his defense. Lao Pan dreamed of becoming famous. After receiving the advance from the boss, Lao Pan took a 10-hour train ride and a 3-hour wagon ride to the northwest. Finally, Lao Pan won the lawsuit with his clever tongue. But in the settlement of the final payment, the boss said it would take 10 days to pay the final payment to Lao Pan, which Lao Pan is not happy. Always he is to receive money to do not like to drag. When the boss refused to give the money, the old Pan imposed a threat and let the boss mortgage the red car to him. Old Pan drove the car proudly into the no man's land. As the name implies, the road is birdless and uninhabited, and it is the only road that leads outside. Meanwhile, the boss called Big Yellow and said the goods were on the road, so don't screw up this time. On the road, a truck pulling firewood blocked the way. The people on the car also spit on Lao Pan's new car. Lao Pan is grumpy, stop and let the other party apologize, but also take the truck driver hat rub. The truck driver backhanded as a slap. Old Pan wanted to call someone, only to find that there is no signal here, and at this time the car ran down a person. That person also peed on the car seat towards the old Pan. Helpless people are two people had to bow down. Old Pan just want to drive away from this hellhole, but the truck has been blocking the front of the road. Then the car threw a beer bottle, the windshield to smash the flowers. Old Pan did not suffer this kind of anger, so he caught up with the truck and threw the lighter onto the train. Watching the truck on fire, Lao Pan proudly made a victory gesture to the two. Old Pan just slow breath. Then because of the windshield a flower, did not see the car stopping Rhubarb, so dodge, Rhubarb knocked off. Seeing that there is still a breath in the Rhubarb, Pan rushed to take him to catch up, but halfway Rhubarb is not moving. The boss here can't get through to Big Yellow, so he personally, Old Pan put the body of Big Yellow in the trunk to continue the journey. Then passed a gas station called Night Paris. To refuel you have to watch the show. Show 1002, refueling 300. The old man said this is called a bundle of business. Not to see the show cannot. So Old Pan was forced to watch a prostitute striptease in the Avi. The prostitute said he was tricked into coming here, but also let Old Pan take him with him. Then the old man came in and found the prostitute trying to escape, while scolding and kicking. After refueling, the old man said $3,000. Old Pan took a look. The old man also repaired the windshield. Half a roll of tape all glued to the glass. Although the old Pan was angry, can only admit their own bad luck. Throw down the money and drive away. On the road Old Pan wanted to dispose of the body of the Big Yellow. Gasoline are put, only to remember that their own fire engine lost to the car pulling firewood. So can only take the old yellow body back to the gas station. First, with 1,500 and then filled up with gas. And then 100 to buy a lighter. The results just went out to the two brothers of the truck to the ground. These two people turned out to be the old man here. The old Pan was easy to get away. Drove wildly, halfway up and down the car for air. Suddenly heard the car trunk movement. The old Pan opened the trunk. The prostitute was hiding inside. The original she took advantage of the chaos to hide in the trunk of the old Pan's car. Then the prostitute found a body in the back seat of the old Pan's car. The prostitute was scared and rushed to escape. The old Pan look at this does not work. So the only way to take the prostitute tried to explain all this to her. But the prostitute has been scared silly. Seeing a car passing, frantically shouting for help. In the pull, the car hit the roadside mound of dirt. The two were talking when Big Yellow woke up. It turned out that Big Yellow was not dead, but just passed out, and that Big Yellow still had the falcon hidden on him, which fell on the back seat. Then Da Huang took the gun and forced Lao Pan to draw gasoline from the car to pour on himself, and let the prostitute go over to light the fire. At the critical moment, the two brothers in the truck caught up with them and wanted to catch the prostitute back. So Big Yellow killed one of them first and shot the thin man. Lao Pan tried to escape and was also shot by Big Yellow in the thigh and passed out. The prostitute then asked the prostitute to drive him to a place. And the old Pan who woke up saw that thin man was still alive, so he helped him to bandage up. The prostitute, as she could not drive, accidentally hit the car into the gravel next to her, and before she could get over it, the old man stopped them with his stupid son, and the old man froze for a moment when he saw that the man was not Lao Pan. At this time, the old man pointed a gun at him, but the old man did not even put the foolish son in his eyes, and as a result, he was hammered to death by the foolish son. Then the old man let the silly son escort the prostitute back, while he himself rode off with the intention of selling the falcon. On the way, the foolish son met with the boss car. The boss saw Rhubarb's body in the trunk and learned that the foolish son's father had taken his falcon, so he made the foolish son stand in the middle of the road and ran him over. The boss also tried to kill the prostitute, so Lao Pan went to dissuade him. The boss let the prostitute go, then called the police to say that a red car had hit and killed someone. Then the boss knocked over Lao Pan, helped him into the red car, and then used the fuel line to stuff the exhaust pipe, so that Lao Pan died of carbon monoxide poisoning, thus framing him for the accident. After seeing all this, the prostitute took out her pillow, which was full of money, and the prostitute said, "This is all for you. Don't kill me." The boss took the money, but still turned on the car. The prostitute took advantage of the boss' inattention and stuffed the lighter into the exhaust hole. And after dawn, the heat made the lighter explode and blew up the exhaust pipe. This is what saved the old Pan's life. Then the police arrived to save the old Pan, but the police had to send the old Pan to the police station. Old Pan looked down. This and Sell Falcon bosses go in the opposite direction, so a ruthless pulled down the handbrake. The police car turned over a few times after the police fainted. Old Pan climbed out of the car to ride to try to save the prostitute. The old man took the gun of rhubarb to a courtyard, but was already ambushed here by the boss to kill. This scene was seen by the old Pan hiding outside. The boss took the falcon and contact person deal, and then threw the old man and the prostitute together into a nearby pit, and then began to bury alive. The mound of earth was about to cover the prostitute. The old Pan ran out at once. Contact person and the boss were dumbfounded. Contact person took the gun and pointed it at the old Pan. The old Pan, contact person and the boss are dumbfounded. Contact person took a gun and pointed at Lao Pan. Lao Pan used a diversionary tactic to make contact person suspicious of the boss, but also let contact person to see the boss car phone. The results of the last dialed really is the youngest 0. This is exactly before the boss wanted to set up the old Pan, their own police, and dialed. This 3 people began to nest. Just when they fought, old Pan rushed to save the prostitute. 2 people with the falcon just walked to the door. The boss took out contact person first and began to chase the 2. The 2 of them were just walking to the door with the falcon when the boss took out the contact person and started to kill them. Then the boss came over and tried to kill the prostitute. Lao Pan first released the falcon, then took the money and threw it into the fire next to him, saying to let her go as he did so. The boss let the prostitute go and asked Lao Pan why he ran back. Lao Pan said, "You won't understand. You are not like us, you are not human." The boss said, "You are right, you should have watched her die." Then the boss took Lao Pan driving after the prostitute. Lao Pan said, "Tomorrow I will be on the headlines," said the lighter thrown into the fuel truck. Then the truck exploded. Money flying all over the sky. The sky over No Man's Land bloomed a colorful flower of money. No Man's Land is a film released by director Zheng in 2013. The film was actually shot in 2009, but was delayed in its release. In 2009, Zheng's other film, Crazy Racer, grossed over $100 million at the box office, making him China's youngest billionaire director. With the word of mouth accumulated by Crazy Stone in 2006, Zheng made his way to the top and made his mark. It must be said that in China's current film industry, the ability to tell a good story is invaluable. As an excellent Chinese-made crime film, No Man's Land has at least done 2 things. One is to seriously tell a good story that the audience can understand, and the other is to look good.